In the heart of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, the spotlight is intensifying on the defensive line of the University of North Carolina's football team as they progress through their training camp. With the NCAA-mandated acclimation period now behind them, Coach Bill Belichick and his coaching team can finally delve into the nitty-gritty of assessing the Tar Heels' defensive line, a position group that's been shrouded in uncertainty heading into the 2025 season. But here's where it gets controversial. The defensive line is a complete rebuild, with no returning starters or backups from last season. Only Tyler Thompson, a third-string rush end, remains from the 2024 roster. This radical transformation has left many wondering if the Tar Heels can rise to the challenge. We're trying to evaluate, but we're not really able to do that until full practices and tackling, Belichick shared 2 days ago. The intricacies of defensive line play, he explained, can only be truly assessed once the team is fully engaged in contact drills. NCAA rules stipulate that full contact drills, including live tackling, are prohibited until teams have completed a 5-day acclimation period at the start of preseason practices. Following this, teams are allowed up to 3 days a week of live tackling, with at least 3 non-contact or minimal contact practices required in any given week. The Tar Heels kicked off their training camp on August 2nd and took their first break on Wednesday. Their sights are set on the season opener against TCU on September 1st. The defensive line, a critical component of any team's success, is undergoing a significant overhaul. Gone are key players like Kyman Rucker, Javari Ritzie, Des Evans, Kevin Hester Jr., Joshua Harris Sr., and Jacolby Cowan. The team has also seen the departure of Bo Atkinson, Travis Shaw, Joel Starlings, and Rodney Laura, who have all moved on to other programs. Enter C.J. Mims, Isaiah Johnson, and DeAndre Robinson, transfer additions from East Carolina, Arizona, and Florida, respectively. These players are expected to solidify the interior of the defensive line. On the edge, transfers Price Yates, Melkart Abu-Jowdy, and Smith Vilbert from Connecticut, Delaware, and Penn State are anticipated to make an impact. Vilbert, at 6'6" and 282 pounds, bears a striking resemblance to Des Evans in terms of physique, and could potentially play both outside and inside positions on the defensive line, as suggested by Inside Carolina analyst Jason Staples. Yates, in particular, had a standout performance against UNC last season, recording 6 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, including a sack, in UConn's 27-14 victory at the Fenway Bowl. Steve Belichick, UNC's new defensive coordinator, emphasized the importance of the defensive line, stating, "I think the game really starts up front." He believes that the more energy and intensity the defensive linemen bring, the harder they make it for the offense. "Everybody else is important. I'm not taking those other guys off the hook. But I think when those guys play well up front, it makes everybody's job a lot easier. It puts a lot of stress on the offense," he said. The Tar Heels' defensive line coaching tandem of Steve Belichick and Bob Diaco marks the third different combination in 3 seasons, following Gene Chizik and Tim Cross in 2023, and Jeff Collins and Ted Monachino in 2024. Last season, UNC's defensive front showed significant improvement in metrics like pressure rate, sack rate, and havoc rate. However, the team still allowed at least 34 points in 5 of the 7 losses they suffered. Moreover, Carolina's run defense has consistently ranked outside the top 65 nationally during Brown's last 5 seasons as head coach. Leroy Jackson, a UNC defensive lineman, expressed the team's readiness to learn and compete under the new coaching staff. "Every practice is going to be a hard practice. It's going to make the games easier. The competition level is high, and you've got to stay at that level. You can't go down. You've got to keep going higher and higher," he said. Bill Belichick provided a detailed explanation of the challenges in evaluating defensive linemen during the early stages of training camp. He highlighted the importance of leverage, technique, positioning, and pad level in interior offensive and defensive line play. "Once everything is on, then it's a lot easier to see," he said, emphasizing that defensive line and offensive line positions are difficult to train in the off-season due to the lack of full contact drills. The Tar Heels are now past the acclimation period, and the real work begins. The team's defensive line will be put to the test, and the true colors of this rebuilt unit will be revealed. Will they rise to the challenge, or will the pressure prove too much? Only time will tell. And this is the part most people miss. The true test of a team's mettle is not just in the wins and losses, but in how they respond to adversity. Will the Tar Heels' defensive line be up to the task? We'll find out soon enough.